Hey everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host Dave.
And I'm the co-host, Don.
You started calling yourself co-host instead of the other host. Is that because you want
So,
to
yeah,
distance yourself from any
no,
political speak that goes on in the show?
no, I don't care. I don't care.
uh, yeah, um, we'll get into it. We're gonna probably get a little bit. We're gonna get a little more on Charlie Kirk tonight. You're part of the problem because you had suggested one of the things to talk about, and we have breaking news. We'll get into. I really don't want this to become political speak, but it's the hot topic in the universe right now, and you got to feed the algorithm. Uh,
You do? Hey, that's the name of the game. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification, all that jazz.
yeah. Wait. Let me click the little. There you go. You know, Here,
There you
like,
go.
subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live because that's all the good stuff. So yeah, and but we do have some comic or MCU news to talk about as well, and we're going to talk
Mhm.
about Twisted Metal a little bit. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Um, Before we get into all that though, how are you doing? Anything new and exciting in your life since Sunday night?
Yes. Remember the hot tub that I said didn't work?
Yes.
Well, through a little redneck, intuition and whatnot, we got her going. So, um, yeah, that's great.
Is it a lot
Super
of duct
excited
tape?
about that. No, no, no. What see what had happened was on the circuit board, we just don't there's a jump wire that you have to connect to go into a certain electrical mode,
Okay.
and that's not there. And so we just kind of took a piece of wire because all it's doing is completing a circuit between two
Right.
points to throw it in the mode that it needs to. So yeah, we just my buddy just got a wire and shape, just made a thing where it connected the circuit, and here we go.
Cool. Cool.
So super happy about that.
There you go. You and the wife enjoying it.
We were in it till like 10:30 last night. So,
Ah, that's cool.
but now we've got to build something. But now I need to like build something around it because like yeah, she hates mosquitoes and stuff like that, so she does want it. Um, but we're gonna keep it on during the winter and stuff too. So that'll probably help during the winter.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
good
cool.
stuff all around. And yeah, and then you let me know you were watching Twisted Metal, which I'm super excited about. I really would like to hear your opinion. Uh, I digress though. How about you? How was your week?
Um.
Now
Well,
that
it's
it's hump
funny.
day.
A lot of a lot of things have actually happened since Sunday.
Hmm.
I mean, the first one I didn't tell you so because you and I have talked offline and stuff, and you may
Yeah.
have even mentioned on the show about possibly going on like uh Zepbound or Wakovi, not Wakovi, what's it called? Whatever, one of the insulin drugs that help
Yeah.
with weight loss. And when I was at my doctor's on Thursday, I mean, sadly, my blood sugar is perfect. So it's tough to like justify putting me on a medication like that.
Oh.
But he was like, no, I didn't ask him. He brought it up. He's like, but you're like a perfect candidate because you do need to lose weight, but you're also very healthy. So there wouldn't be any adverse side effects. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he prescribed Zepbound for me. And it was in status for like a week. And all of a sudden, yesterday at the end of the day, I get this thing where it's like, oh, it was denied. The insurance company denied it,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, you can appeal it, but you got to like send in all this written information. I'm like, I don't know. So I just called my doctor to be like, call the doctor's office. Oh, I want to talk. Can we just figure out what if there's an alternative or like what he wants to do, what next steps are. And of course, when you call your doctor's office, you don't get your doctor, you get office staff, and they feel like their main um goal in life is to keep you from talking to the doctor.
Yes.
So the woman who answered the phone was basically like, and I'm new to this doctor, by the way. This is like, I've only been to him
Yeah.
so far. So this is a new doctor for me. I switched to someone that's much closer to home. I can actually walk to this doctor if I have to. So I mean, that's one of the main reasons I did it. He's part of one of the big hospital chains in the area too. But regardless of that, they were like, "Oh, you've got to contact your insurance company and find out what they'll approve." And I'm like, "Okay." So I contact my insurance company, and they're like, "Oh," they looked at the information. They asked me a couple questions, like, "Oh, your provider will have to call our provider hotline, and we'll explain what he's got to do to get it approved in Pennsylvania." And I'm like, "Okay." So I call the doctor's office back, get the same woman again, and she's like, "You've." I said I contacted my insurance company, and they told me the doctor has to call this. And they're like, "No, you've got to ask your insurance company what the alternatives are."
Yeah.
I'm like,
The fucking
"And I
runaround. Yep.
did that," and they said that you have to call the hotline. And then she just repeated it herself. I'm like, "No." I said, "Just put the doctor on the phone right now. Put Dr. Lanos on the phone right now." And she like started to say it again, and I got like a little heated, and I'm like, "Look, I'm not going to do this runaround with the insurance company. I'm not the go between. This is between the doctor and the
Yeah.
insurance company." I said, "Let me just talk to him so him and I can figure it out together." And she's like, "All right, I'll put your information down, and I'll have him, I'll have him contact you." And of course, I never got a call or anything, so we'll see
Yeah.
what happens. But it's just like, and it's funny because I didn't even ask. The doctor just recommended it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I would like to try it." And it's just, insurance companies are cracking down on it. They were like allowing it left and right. In fact, my girlfriend works with with a woman who was on it, and then all of a sudden her insurance company stopped covering it. So, um, so I know that there's like issues with it, and it's like, fine, I understand it's really for diabetes, and I don't have high blood sugar, but my doctor wants me to take it. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand why an insurance company gets to make the decision. Like, no, you can't have this. That's one of the things that drives me nuts in this country, and I work for said insurance company. Oh, hold on.
Yep. I mean, it's Spidey on.
Forgot to turn Spidey on. I noticed as I was bitching. So that happened.
Yeah.
Then the other thing that happened was I was working today, and at 12 o'clock at noon, my time, I get a message, "Stop all development. The company
Ooh.
was under a cyber attack. And close all of your development tools."
Oh, geez.
And it was like, "Just hold off until we." I'm like, "What?" So
Yeah, they're trying to get that HIPAA.
apparently, so I don't know. And it was like, didn't get anything accomplished. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh, Thrawn talking about your hot tub. This will keep you warm, kid, till I get the shelter built. Oh, wait. And I thought Brie Larson smelled bad on the outside. Oh no, it's a
Yeah.
it's a
That's
it's a tauntaun
yeah.
Brie Larson joke. Awesome. Uh, hello,
Han
Thrawn.
found Luke. Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's it. Was on a date with the girlfriend last night, so that was good.
Ooh.
We had a normal run of the mill old people date. Had dinner, did some shopping, and then she went home. We
Okay.
both had to get up for work. It's midweek. It's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the other thing is I did start watching Twisted Metal. I am only up, I will be honest, I'm up to episode 6 on season 1, so I got 3 more episodes for season 1. Then I'll watch season 2. But I'm watching it because you highly recommended it, and I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out. So before I say anything about what I thought, I am curious. Were you a fan of the game before the show came out?
Oh yeah. Big
Okay.
time. Big time. I put a lot of hours into Twisted Metal 1. Twisted Metal 2, which this show particularly seems to give homage to. But yeah, absolutely huge fan of the video game. Yep.
Okay, because I mean, I'll be honest, I never watched the show, so it wasn't on my radar. So, so I never watched it. So I never played the game. That's what I meant. I never played the game, so the show wasn't on my radar. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, like, I mean, first and foremost, Anthony Mackie is very charming. Is extremely charming in the show.
Yep.
Which is funny for a post-apocalyptic show to have this like charming lead character who is like doesn't seem to be bothered by the world around him
right
as much as he probably should be. But again, it's the world he knows, so I guess it makes sense in that way. So yeah, and why can't I think of his name? The guy who played
Sweet Tooth?
No, not Sweet Tooth. Agent Stone, who's Sandman and was on the show Wings.
Oh, I can't remember that guy's name either, but okay.
I
know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, I think he like. I mean, I don't know. I again, I'm on episode 6, so I don't know if what happens to him. It appears that he's blown up, but I have a feeling he didn't die.
No, you don't ever see him again. Spoiler alert.
What?
But you don't. He's not. Yeah, that's not a major character.
He's not a major character in the show. Really?
Nope.
Because he kind of felt like the main villain for a while there, at least for.
Yeah. No, you'll find out soon. No, the main villain, is Calypso, which is from the games. Which.
Oh, okay.
So.
Because they spend a lot.
That's what I will say. That's the thing, unfortunately, that you will not appreciate. That probably gives it an extra bit of zing for me. Is that they really are faithful to the game. A lot of the vehicles and characters that they're introducing are like straight from the game.
Thomas Hayden Church. Sorry, it was bothering me. I had to look it up. But
I understand.
Okay, so he's not a major character, but they spend a lot of time developing him. They show you flashbacks to before the apocalypse happened, where he was, which I thought, and that's the funny thing. I got to say that too. I wasn't expecting this. Like, I saw it said comedy series, and I didn't realize, like, yeah, it's an action comedy, kind of in the vein of the original Star Wars trilogy in some ways, more comedy than they were.
A bit darker than that.
Oh yeah, a lot
more dark. Yeah.
But I mean, that kind of genre where you don't get that as much anymore. It's either like a straight action movie or a raunchy comedy. So like there's a lot of interesting humor in the show because it's a lot of like looking at the world and a post-apocalyptic events by some people who just that's all they know, and some people who like remember the world before it went to shit,
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth, it's a very interesting character. I didn't realize he's Will Arnett is the voice, and
but Samoa
Joe is the body. Yeah. Which of course you get away with because he's wearing a mask and you never see his mouth move. So Thrawn says it has the TV production style of a Stephen King story. In some ways, I can see that. I mean, it's not horror, but yeah, I mean, I can see your point. So, yeah, so I mean, it's just like these weird situations. So, I mean, who hasn't watched the show, and I know Don, you're also trying to be careful to not give any spoilers as well. But I mean, the basic story is, I guess there was like a computer virus or something that wiped out all of our telecommunications, and in like early 2000s, society collapsed. People that were left that are still alive live in these walled cities, and they get supplies via people like Anthony Mackie, whose character's name is John Doe because he can't remember his real name. That's a whole. They haven't really touched
That's
on
a
his
character from the game, though. So
yeah.
that's yeah.
They haven't touched on any kind of origin story for him, which I think is on purpose, and
They'll
because
get into it.
oh okay,
Oh yeah,
because I kind of felt like, you know, if you're supposed to feel like you're in his shoes, you know,
yeah.
I don't know.
They get into his origin story, but he doesn't remember it, which is interesting.
Okay. And so he's a milkman. You know, milkman
yep.
delivers things to these walled
Between
cities.
The walled cities, yeah.
Yes. He's, you know, instead of a mailman, he's a milkman, and he's got a got milk bumper sticker on his car and his milkman license is one of those novelty licenses that has the name John Doe on it.
Well, yes, and did you catch on to the fact that every episode is one of those vanity plates? Like, it's always done. They spell out the word, but they do it in like a vanity plate style.
Yeah.
Every episode, which I like, is a great touch.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're definitely staying true to the elements of the video game. From what I know about it, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a little bit of it. Once you get to the finale, I'll have a little bit of a complaint where they kind of deviated, but
and then
yeah,
one of the things that got me. So he was making a delivery to, was it New San Francisco,
something like that,
or New LA? It was a California city, one of the ones everyone knows, and the COO has him come in, and she's like, that's what kicks off the storyline of the season. Is she hires him to go on a run to New Chicago to pick something up and bring it back to her, and she doesn't say what it is, and he's not allowed to know. And you know, she promises him he can live in the city when he returns. And the funny thing is, like, spoiler, as soon as he leaves, you find out that the whole thing was a setup. And like, you know, because she only gave him 10 days to complete the mission. And you know, she had a guy that was her husband and a baby, and she's like, "Oh, get this thing away from me," and tells the husband he can leave because it's not actually her husband, was an actor, you know. So obviously it's a setup, you know, like, which I thought was interesting that they revealed it right away. Like they could have left that reveal until, you know, he's coming back. And because now you're watching the whole show, and like, that's his motivation, is like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, retire, and I don't have to be a milkman anymore. And I, like, milkmen usually die young, and he's like, I won't have an early expiration date. It's one of the things they say in the show. But you watching this, you know that no, he's not going to get that because it was a setup. And I want to say they foreshadowed that a little bit, because when he shows up to the city, there's all these like hungry people that they're not letting in hanging around the outside, and they didn't show that in the other cities, you know, like they're specifically showing it there to say like, oh, there's something not right about this town. Thrawn said, so did this show kill a baby? The worshippers got blowed up?
Oh, that'll make more sense as you watch more episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like obviously these. I mean, obviously, and I can tell they're probably characters in the game and things in the game. You had the convoy, the truck convoy people. You had the pharmacist character, which I'm gonna guess that's like how you get healed in the game. Um, and then there was what did they call the religious group? Um, the ones that are hanging people on
Oh,
crosses upside down.
yeah, I can't remember that either. I want to say the Reavers, but I don't think that's it.
No, it's something like you would know. It's like a, or maybe the believers. I don't know, something like that. And then of course you got the lawmen, the cops, which is Agent Stone's group, and or at least at this point, and their headquarters is in Topeka, Kansas. So, so yeah, it's interesting. I guess
I will say that everything that you're describing, the first season really does. It moves pretty fast, but when season 2 comes along, it totally shifts because you're talking about, well, he wants to live in one of these walled cities, and
Mhm.
and so by the time season 2 rolls around, he's focused on the tournament. So just I don't want to diverge too much, but
Okay.
it's funny how different the show becomes, I guess, as far as like what they're doing.
Okay.
But
Well,
again, you'll have to.
I kind of figured like you can't. They gave us a setup in this season. It's like he's a milkman. Go run a
Yeah,
specific mission, and something's gonna obviously happen by the end. And they introduce all these characters and whatnot, but like they couldn't have another season right away where it's like, oh, okay, now go do this delivery. I kind of see like, I mean, unless they did something where he becomes a legend, like because he can travel
yeah,
across the country and make deliveries. But yeah,
yeah. No, it's gonna be nothing like that.
yeah,
It will focus from his milkman role. Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So, and then of course, Sweet Tooth is the psychopath that you love. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him because he's
He's
definitely
just a bowl of chaos.
yeah,
Yeah, I
kills a
don't
lot of
know.
people,
He
but
kills a lot of people, but can kind of be reasoned with.
yeah, and he hasn't killed anyone that you care about yet. He's kind of just killed villains so far that we know of. I
But
mean,
he really does become more of a comedy thing. He's not like the big bad monster of the show. So
no, he's definitely
he
not.
he really does get ridiculous at points.
And then there's Stu and Mike, which I know are characters from Twisted Metal 2. I did look that up because I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. Like, did they create Stu for the show? And it's like no. So, and I kind of feel like because that was the thing that's one of the things that happens in episode 5 is Stu shows up at the DMV and slaughters most of the lawmen, and Stu leaves with him at the end of the show. But like they started out
Yeah.
together, Stu and Mike, but Mike is the one that kind of betrayed Stu. But he lets him live, which is showing you like he's a good guy. Stu is, he didn't tell.
Stu's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he's going to have his moment. I don't know if it's going to be this season or next season, but he'll
Yeah.
definitely have his like moment where he's like his heroic moment, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean it's not bad. It's pretty good. I wouldn't put it in my top 10 shows of all time, but
No,
I'm definitely
because the writing is like not airtight at all.
yeah.
It's super ridiculous, the premises
Oh,
that they take you through. But I legitimately laugh a lot when I watch the show. It's funny.
it's funny because the comedy comes from weird. I laughed, and I don't over some of the dumbest things, like he can't parallel park. It would make sense
Right.
because he's always been on the open road making deliveries. He's never had to like go somewhere and parallel park. But when
Yeah.
they bring him into the city and he's got to park his car like he has a really hard time parking it and then pulling it back out. So yeah, like it's funny, like the it's comedy like that throughout the show, and you're not expecting it, and it's like, oh, okay, like and it's like, oh, it's goofy, but like it makes sense when you think about it. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it.
But just wait, because it's going to get even better. I think season 1 is good. I really enjoyed it. It was funny, but I think season 2 is even better, even funnier.
Okay.
And that's where you get more. You are in the Twisted Metal tournament.
Okay.
So you've got everyone with all the different characters and their cars. It's awesome.
Okay.
So yeah, glad that you're enjoying it, because they definitely want you to stick with it.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you like, I was worried because of like, okay, I don't think he's a fan of the video game, so he's not going to have that going for him. So if he doesn't get the comedy, I think I was like, he might come in and roast it a little bit.
You got Sandman and Falcon in it, so it's good.
It is. Anthony Mackie is wonderful in this role.
Yeah,
it really, really is funny.
Yeah, I mean,
he kind of reminds me of his Real Steel character. Not sure if any of you have seen that, starring, of course, Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
wonder if they'll reunite in Doomsday. If we'll get an Anthony Mackie.
Well, we'll talk about Doomsday in a minute, but I'm going to say something controversial here. I think.
Oh.
I might enjoy him better in Twisted Metal.
Yeah, all day.
Than I do, especially in the Captain America 4. I think he's much better in Twisted Metal than he is in Captain America 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's no, and I'm going to say this, and I think this is a part of it. There's no expectation on him as a character watching that, so he's just being his charming self, and it comes off really good. So, yeah, I'm going to keep watching it. And
glad you dig it. Glad you dig it.
We'll get caught up, and we'll do a full review of season 2 when I'm done. And yeah. But on that note, I think before we get to the news, we got our good friend Darth Don to tell you where you can find more superhero speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated gun dog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
You're definitely going to have to dress up like that at New York Comic Con, because the fans are going to expect it. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that's been going on. We're starting to line up interviews already for New York. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. All right. We do have some news to talk about, and you know what? We got breaking news that happened right before the show started, so I'm going to play this. So that feels more legit now. So
I was about to say that makes us feel super more legit to me. Thank you.
So again, we're not going to become the political speak. We're not going to talk about this much, but I found this interesting. Right before we went on air, I saw online that Jimmy Kimmel, Live with Jimmy Kimmel, has been suspended indefinitely because of comments that he made on his show about what you call it, Charlie Kirk and the assassination. And I don't watch late night TV anymore. I can't stay up that late at my age.
Right.
I'll watch clips online and stuff afterwards, and I think most people do that anyway. But regardless, I read some of the comments he made, and some of them were pretty bad. Some of them are like whatever. But this goes back to the comic book, the Red Hood getting canceled. And here's the thing, and this is even worse, right? Because you cancel a comic book and you have an artist and an inker and a colorist that are probably possibly all need work, and comics is you're paid by what you do, not an hourly wage. So if you're not getting work, you lose it. And there's maybe even an editor on the book. But a TV show, there's dozens and dozens of people. At least you got cameramen, you got production crew, you've got
keynote, all that
sound guys, light guys,
boom mic,
that are all now out of work. And that's not right. Like, honestly, should there be a penalty to be like if because it's the company that owns CBS that did this, something Star, Netstar or something. It's like a media company that owns a bunch of channels and whatnot. They made the decision to pull the plug on the show. And I love when they use the term suspended indefinitely. It's like it was canceled. Just but like you can fine him, out of his pay, or you could and say don't do it again, or you can pull him as the host and have someone fill in for a while, like that's the thing. You're hurting a bunch of people's livelihood. I mean, what do you think? I mean, it's kind of Next Star. That's it. Thank you, Thrawn. Next Star is the company that owns them. So what do you think?
I think there's a lot to this, actually. So the first thing is, this is one universal truth of politics, culture in general, is the pendulum swings. Oh, liberal. Oh, conservative. Oh,
Yeah.
And so we've experienced the woke counterculture, if you will.
Yes.
But now here comes the pendulum, and now we're doing the conservative cancel culture. So I said counterculture. I'm sorry, cancel culture. So we're seeing that. And why are we seeing that? Because these companies really only care about one thing, and that's money. And their perception is that the pendulum has swung to the conservatives, and so they're going to get ahead of that as much as they can.
I agree 100%. It is about the money, and they don't want to, lose advertisers. And I guarantee that was part of what happened. Like after he made the comments, the advertisers called and said, we're going to pull advertising on the show. And that's probably where the decision really came from. What I find funny is there are already people online going, oh, this is the end of free speech. This is fascism, blah, blah. Like the government had nothing to do with this show being pulled. The culture is why the show got pulled. The other side of that also is, as you just said, we were experiencing woke cancel culture for so long, where people would make the argument, what about freedom of speech? And they'd go, you're free to say what you want, but you're not free from consequences. Jimmy Kimmel was free to say what he wants, but he's not free from consequences. It's the same argument. I don't understand why you say, oh, well, my guy can say what he wants, but your guy can't without there being consequences. It's like, and again, as we were saying on Sunday, this was a vile act. Somebody's life was ended. Agree with them or disagree with them, it's not right. So to make jokes and to celebrate over someone's death, it's like, it's just in poor taste. Like that's really what it is, right? And I was thinking about that earlier. It's all about what we used to consider things that were in poor taste, things as my mom would always say, uncouth, and it's uncouth to make jokes about somebody's assassination. And the idea that like, oh no, it's just free speech, it's just jokes. It's like, no, not even a week later. Like it's, I mean, again, I think it's extreme to pull the entire show because you're putting a bunch of people out of work, but there should be a consequence.
Well, here's the thing, though. We're in the streaming era now.
Yeah.
And late night talk shows, like, I have not sat down and stared at a device that is showing a late night talk show since I was getting stoned in my best friend's grandma's basement that I rented out for $200 a month after work each night, like, but now that there's no cable and we don't sit there and just flick through channels late at night anymore, everything's on demand. No one's watching these shows. They can't be. And so I think part of this is a money saving effort on a part of these networks. I think that was in large part what happened to Colbert. So now Jimmy Kimmel, go ahead.
No, you're 100% right. Like, number one, the weirdest thing is the number one late night show is Greg Gutfeld, which is on Fox News, which is a cable station. Like, you can't even watch it on regular TV. And like the most of the audience of anything is split between how many streaming services now, YouTube, like we're taking an audience away from something right now, hopefully. So you've got, it's like, it's what's called CPM. You're paid per so many viewers, the rates that you can charge for advertising. And I know this because I used to work in advertising. So you used to have shows that had, tens of millions to hundreds of millions of people watching it because you had only a handful of stations. Now they're lucky if they get 1 million viewers on some of these shows. So they can't be charging that much in advertising. So if you were making less money in advertising and then all of a sudden, let's just say McDonald's calls up and says, yeah, we thought that stuff was in poor taste, we're going to pull the advertising. They don't have an option because they can't afford to keep doing the show because they're not making money. Like, people forget it's all business. They have to make money. And that's how they make money on regular TV, is off of the advertising. If the advertisers say, whoa, this is too hot to be involved with, the show gets pulled. And like, I guarantee, I could be wrong, but I guarantee a couple times Jimmy Kimmel has probably been warned, like, hush down the rhetoric, it's going to cost us. And he, decided to do it anyway. I'm also going to say this. The reason I also am going by my theory is the show doesn't go out live. It's pre-taped.
Yeah.
The censors and everyone saw those comments before it went out live. They knew he was going to say that. They didn't cut it. They have a writer's room. I'm sure their scripts their jokes, monologues get approved before they go on air as well. they knew he was going to say it. So what happened was they went, "Oh, okay," and they aired it. And then advertisers called and was like, "Nope, I don't want to be associated with the show anymore." And then that was like, "All right, well, we can't afford to lose all that revenue," so they pulled the show. Like, and that's the world. Like, that's just business. Same thing with Colbert. It came out that that show was losing 20 million a year or something. Like, the question was, why were they keeping it on that long if it was losing money apparently for a couple years? But I
Because they had to
digress.
pay him anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. He still has a contract to ride out.
Yeah, he's
So,
getting paid.
Yep.
They've just literally made the decision, even though we still have to pay you, it'll still be better for us to not show you and show something else.
Yeah. Well, I hope that all those people involved will get jobs, and not suffer from this, because that would suck.
Of course.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the interesting thing. I guess we can talk about the other thing, because Thrawn made a comment here, which I feel leads into one of the things you had said you wanted to talk about. There is a specific bias rule that is supposed to be followed. If they are reporting news, it's flat out without bias propaganda one way due to intentional manipulation of facts. And yet, most news, especially, I feel like it's since CNN launched and they had 24-hour news, and like they couldn't just think about it. If you just said a car crash happened at this cross street, this many people injured, move on to the next story. Like, if that's all you were doing, was just saying, here's something here, facts of here's something here, facts of something here, you're not going to be able to talk long. So when the idea of talking about the news, which was born out of CNN, became a thing, then it was like, well, people with personalities and bias started creeping into the news more. So you had said something about talking about the shell casings from the assassination. There were carvings in the bullet casings. The Tyler Robinson, the assassin, had carved things into the bullets that are, my understanding, these are things that are memes and related to video games in some way.
There was specifically some like symbol that was related to Helldivers.
Okay.
That video game, which is pretty popular. Haven't played it myself. So yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for this to become a thing, because I am, if anything, a video game historian. I mean, I was there since, fucking Atari, and I was 4 playing that shit. I'm 45 now. And, so I lived through, obviously, the late 80s and 90s when Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter came around, and, the fucking government started having Senate hearings, over those video games and the violence and whatnot. And we've seen even school shootings being blamed on video games, particularly the Colorado case. They were talking about Doom. And so I'm just kind of waiting, and I'm surprised they haven't heard it, but I'm waiting for there to be some sort of video game backlash because of these engravings on these bullets. Very weird that somebody would do that.
Well, what is it? They weren't all that, because one is
no, they weren't all that.
One was a furry thing. I don't know anything about furries, but notices bulge OWO. Then there was of course the one that they talked about right away was "Hey Fascist Catch." And then Bella Ciao which is something that the what you call it, that group, uh the words the black box, the anti-fascists, they sing that, like that's a song, it's a protest song, and that's
Yeah.
something that they sing. So like, yeah, but I mean, yeah, but I get what you're saying, that it won't be long before someone starts blaming video games for this stuff. Though the other thing I found fascinating, because and it goes with Thrawn's comment about the bias in the news. It had come out, actually a podcast that I watched had broke the news. It's had someone had leaked an internal memo to him that there were things inscribed on the bullets, and he leaked it on his show, and then it became a thing where they were trying to say he was lying or this was fake. And of course, when they did the news conference on it, the FBI confirmed, like, no, these are the things that were written on the bullet, and they gave out a report that showed it. But there were people online, and there are people who on some of these news networks that were trying to say it was fake news, and they took a bullet that had TRN on it, which is the manufacturer. Like, it wasn't an actual bullet that was used. This was just someone took a stock photo, and it was the mark of the manufacturer on the back of the bullet, and they're like, "Yeah, idiot! It's just the engraving from the manufacturer." And it was like, no, the FBI said there were specifically these things carved in the bullets. I saw one guy say, "You can't carve on a bullet." Yes, you can. People do it all the time. It's a very it's a common practice. So, and people have known about this for years. So yeah, like, I thought that was weird because
I have a set of sockets made of metal much harder than they make bullet casings off of that are engraved. So yeah,
exactly. So thought that was weird that, like, they were trying to say that was fake news. And I, again, it goes back to the bias. It goes back to what I was saying on Sunday, is that these people who are trying to justify it or whatever, and now they're saying this is because they don't want to believe this was a person on their quote unquote side, right? If he had these things carved on his bullets, that means that he was probably a leftist. And again, not saying all Democrats, I'm just saying that, because they want to try to say, oh, he had the same. They tried to say originally that he was conservative and he shot Charlie Kirk for not being conservative enough, which is like the dumbest argument ever. So,
well, no, yeah, that's already been debunked. No,
right.
his lover is like trans. So
right.
This dude is, and that's not to say that that all leftists feel this way. This person did this in an isolated way, so I'm not gonna. Although I know that's kind of being spun that way, but
that's the thing. Like, the people who are trying to spin this, so that, and I feel like, as I was said on Sunday, like, I feel like they do this so they don't feel guilty for supporting these things. And it's just like, but you're breeding a culture of hate, and like, that's not good. We're not on a good road.
No, we're not. I mean, because I personally don't blame every left person. I don't think they would do this. I don't think they would celebrate this. But unfortunately, there are a lot of leftists that are, making fun of this death. Or, AOC. I, watched a video of her that was saying, well, he advocated for gun rights, and so this is what he gets. It's like, oh man, that person's like in our government and saying that shit. Like,
I know, it's scary. It really, I mean,
they're all shit anyway. The whole system, fucking burn it. But anyway,
I'm kind of at that point too. Like, it's because both sides do suck. Unfortunately, I feel like one side is more violent than the other. So that scares me, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
but yeah, like let's just burn the whole thing down and start over, but not violently. Let's peacefully get together and decide. All right, reset. Let's do a peaceful. Let's try to make everyone happy. If we can't, then let's just split it down the middle. People who believe one way go this way. People who believe another way can go this way. We'll be done with it.
But listen, the human race will always find something to divide itself over.
True.
That's why you have to just be like, we really have to be a nation of people that don't give a fuck.
Well,
unless you're hurting somebody or ripping someone off.
Hold on.
Like I said, you do you, boo.
Put my my tinfoil hat on for a second.
There you go.
This has been this is a belief I've had for a long time, and I think this is just the outcome of the thing I've believed for a long time. The people that are truly in power, so I'm talking about the billionaires, they're people that you don't know. You don't know who
the Rothschilds. And
yes, yeah. You got those people. You've got certain, I think, organizations that are truly in charge, and I think there's people in the government that are truly in charge. And I'm not talking about the president and the vice president and Congress. I'm talking about there are people in the government that you don't know about that are actually pulling the strings.
Shadow government.
Yes, and they keep us divided so that we're blind to what's really going on. As long as
they don't understand that there's 10 billion ants, but only 100 grasshoppers.
But as long as those 10 billion ants are all fighting with each other, we're not going to go after the grasshoppers. If we got together, we'd all go after the grasshoppers. So
spitting motherfucking fire. Reach.
So yeah. So let me take this off again now. We can get back to our regularly scheduled podcast. Yeah. So I've believed that for a long time. It's not just something a realization I've come to recently.
So Thrawn, you mentioned the Illuminati. Here's the thing. If there is a shadow government, we know nothing about it. So the Illuminati is really just a diversion, something for them to make us think we know something.
Yeah.
These idiots.
The Illuminati, what's that other group that all like half the founders were a part of? The Freemasons.
The Freemasons.
The Jewish people. The whatever, like these are all red herrings so that we have somebody else to point the finger at, because they're not the people that are really in charge don't want you to know they exist.
So we don't know about the lizard men that rule everything.
Maybe.
Listen, I mean, we can get into it, man. You ever hear Bob Lazar and the shit he talks about at Area 51 when he's working with this fucking gravity out of nowhere machine? Like, holy shit. And it's like we're all looking above, like for the UFOs above, but they found this stuff on Earth already, like in the ground. Like we're probably like the 93rd civilization on the planet. Just it's gonna get crushed one day and we'll start again.
Probably,
like Ultron says.
Yeah. Anywho. I mean, there are weird things that they find that archaeologists find, and they're just like, we didn't know that they had this technology. These ancient civilizations. I think there's resets that happen every so many hundreds of years, and yeah, we're probably due for one. All right, let's move on to some comic book news before we get canceled.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. We're not going to get canceled. You got to get picked up before you get canceled. Picked up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So this is all related, what I'm about to talk about. So Alan Cumming, who is, of course, what's his name? Nightcrawler in the X-Men movies, and as confirmed to be in Doomsday, kinda, sorta, accidentally let it slip that Halle Berry as Storm will also be in Doomsday. And I was like, Oh, okay. I mean, that one doesn't surprise me. A lot of people like her. She has actually said Storm was one of her favorite characters. So that's an easy like to ask her to come back and do it.
Yeah.
Um, like is she gonna have a big role? I don't know. There's so many characters in the movie. Who knows? But that's the thing. Um, the Cosmic Circus. So Scooper Alex Perez claimed uh, on the Cosmic Circus in September in Q&A that basically there are a bunch of actors in Doomsday that we have no idea are in the movie because they are going to keep it secret until the movie's released. Because didn't we said this on Sunday? I think like there are no set pictures that have been leaked. There's no official images. Nothing. They're keeping us in the dark, and I think it's that lends credence to this concept of there's more to this movie than we know. Do you know what happens to a sequel when it's struck by lightning? Same thing that happens to the first.
Right. Same thing happens to everything. Yeah.
Same thing that happens to everything. So, which leads to the rumor that you brought to me, and I couldn't find anything on this.
Yeah.
But you're super excited. You go ahead. You can say it since it's your guy.
Yeah, so rumor has it that we're going to get a return of the Daniel Cudmore Colossus, which, as you may recall, is the Colossus from X2 and X3 and Days of Future Past, which is exciting to me because although, the perfect Colossus is in the Deadpool movies, I didn't hate Daniel Cudmore as Colossus. In fact, the only thing I really had a problem with, I guess maybe two things, two nitpicks, were he didn't speak with a Russian accent. So I was like, he doesn't really speak a lot at all, even though he's in 3 movies. So
true.
I mean, they could retcon and I don't know, say some shit like he was just trying not to sound Russian. I don't know. And the only other thing I can nitpick about that version of Colossus is I like a big, bulkier Colossus, like we saw in the Deadpool movies. He's like, he's like 8 foot tall. The Daniel Cudmore Colossus is like, 6'7", not as big. So enjoy that one, kids. So, but I'm still excited because I didn't hate that Colossus. Go ahead.
He's actually 6'6". I just looked it up.
See, I just wanted to work in a way to do the 6'7" joke that the kids love. But anyway, that's funny. That is close though. Wow. That works better than I thought. Anywho, but I would be excited to see him. Rumor has it that we are going to see the Fox X-Men in their comic accurate uniforms. So it would be cool to see Daniel Cudmore's Colossus in the comic accurate uniform for him. So I'm really excited about it in general. And now the more I think about it, I mean, I know one of the strange things about this Fox X-Men is they've been given like 3 send-offs at this time. But they're obviously brought back into the fold. But you know what? I'm kind of thinking one way that they could kind of top the Avengers Assemble scene is if we get the Fox X-Men with a Fox Xavier saying "to me, my X-Men," and then some cool ensemble shit goes on in Doomsday. So again, I don't know why they're getting so many send-offs, but that is actually one thing they've never done, and that would be a really great send-off.
I think you're going to get I mean that's how you top it off, right? You do you have Xavier go to me, my X-Men, then you have Cap show up, say Avengers Assemble, and then
Right.
you have I'm trying to think. There's got to be another one. There's got to be another.
It's clobbering time.
Oh,
I
you
guess.
have you have right, because we didn't. He kind of says it, but yeah, you can, and then you have
Inhumans will come in and like, don't suck dick. Oh, sorry.
But yeah, you have things say clobbering time. You get all your catchphrases in this big scene. That's everyone will love that. So wait, and the animated X-Men theme, we got that in Multiverse of Madness, but yeah.
Yeah, but it would make people go ape shit if you got, but Wally's still alive, thank God. But if we got, holy shit, I forgot Patrick Stewart. Sorry, if we had Patrick Stewart, Xavier, to me, my X-Men, that would be actually pretty fat.
So by comic accurate costume, are you talking the shoulder pads, pointed shoulder pads, the knee-high boots, and the bikini cut?
Okay, you make
bottom?
a great point. So, yeah, a little bit more toned down. Because as much as I love Colossus, I'm always like, do you have to wear the boy shorts? Although there is a logical reason for it, because he does increase his size when he transforms. So it does make sense. But no, I'd rather the red and yellow pants, with the red and yellow tank top or whatever.
Okay.
Just something other than black leather, to be completely honest with you. Because that's Ultimate X-Men Colossus. So you got to give us a little, some little color to the Colossus. Although I love the design for Deadpool. So I know it's weird. He's my favorite, but he is the one superhero. Like, no, I don't need 100% accurate comic suit for that. I don't know. I don't need that.
What about we know definitely that Cyclops is in the movie.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Which version of Cyclops' costume? Because there's been quite a few.
I want full spandex, the original, I mean, because I like the little 90s X-Men where you could see the hair, but I don't know. I would have more respect if they go hair covered, just,
yellow and blue.
Blown, G1 Colossus, or Cyclops, sorry.
Okay. And then,
cool.
I mean, I guess, is Iceman the closest one we've gotten to comic accurate, because he's all ice when he transforms?
Well, now that Deadpool and Wolverine is out, no.
Well, that's true. We did finally got the Wolverine cowl.
Well, then Deadpool. I mean, ever since I almost said he was never not comic accurate, but that must be my brain trying to remove the memory of that character from X-Men Origins Wolverine. Because they did, as much as I like that movie, and I know I'm in the very small minority there, they did fuck that up hardcore.
I gotta say, that's everyone's biggest complaint about Origins, though, is what they did to Deadpool. Like,
I love Liev Schreiber Sabretooth, and I would really like to see him come back to that role.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people love Liev Schreiber as Sabretooth. The story isn't like the worst in the world. It's
it's okay.
Yeah, it's did they have to show you like how he lost his memory and everything? Probably not, but it works. So yeah, it's just they said Deadpool, no one likes Deadpool. We're gonna do our own version of him. He's gonna have swords that come out of his arm. What?
Well, yeah, first you're going to see him kind of be a great Deadpool, but then, we're going to completely shit on that.
Yeah, he's going to teleport and have laser vision and...
Right. But he's Deadpool because he's going to have the black diamonds around his eyes. Like, you motherfuckers. Anyway.
I still can't believe Ryan Reynolds agreed to it.
I mean, listen, man, someone... writes you I don't know what he got paid, but I'd say at the very least, someone writes you a check for $750,000. I don't care if they want me to fart on a bullfrog. I'm doing it.
That's your price, $750,000
To fart on a bullfrog. That's
to
right.
fart on a bullfrog. All right, people, you heard him. So you need to become a member down below to join us. We need to make it enough money, $750,000, so that we can get Don to fart on a bullfrog.
I'll go back to the crick over here. I'll grab one of them some bitches, and right after I eat some Taco Bell.
Oh boy, won't even know if it's going to be a free and clean fart.
Yeah.
Might be a little
Be outside the house. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, like, and I guess given like what little we know about the movie, going back to the they're keeping actors secret. I don't think they're gonna have the Eternals in it. But is there anyone they haven't announced yet that you would like to see in the movie? Or maybe even a character they haven't touched on yet that like would be a cool addition.
I would like to see, you know what though? I don't know. This is more of a Secret Wars thing though. I would, believe it or not, okay, runner up Captain America, Steve Rogers Captain America. I really would like to see him return. But other than that, Ultron. I would love to see Ultron get another crack at it. And in the Secret Wars comics, the Hickman Secret Wars comic series, there was like places in Battle World that was just ruled by a horde of Ultrons. There was also a part that was ruled by Marvel zombies. And in fact, that was pretty much how they controlled those two things, was they just kind of let them loose at one another. But anyway, but I always thought that was cool. I like Ultron. I like James Spader Ultron. It would have been perfect if they just stopped with the fucking mouth. Just have him fucking have that menacing Ultron face and have it glow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they felt they needed to put a fucking mouth on him.
Yeah, because I never thought that he had a mouth that moved. Like when I read the comics, I never thought his mouth moved. It was always just an open thing, and it probably glowed when he spoke. Yeah.
Right. So do that. But with James Spader. Nothing wrong with James Spader.
No. Yeah. You know, maybe Nova. They have yet to touch on Nova. Though
yeah, you're right. They had a Nova Corps.
Yep.
But they have never done Rick Rider Nova or nothing.
Yeah. There is a rumor that he might show up in Vision Quest, but I think that's just a rumor. So yeah, like they teased him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then in the sense of they gave us Nova Corps, but they never gave us Rick Rider. So it's like, I'm trying to think anyone else. You know, I mean, geez, there are very few characters that we haven't gotten in the MCU in some form or another that you know, I crave for. I agree too. I would love to see, and I do think that's one of the things they're keeping under wraps. I'm pretty sure Chris Evans is going to show up, you know, as some form of Captain America. You know, maybe we'll get the Young Avengers assembling. Probably not. They're just going to keep teasing us.
Yeah. They'll be 40 by the time we get them.
You know, and then, you know, I would like, and it's silly, but I would like Oscar Isaacs to get another shot at Moon Knight. I liked the show. I thought he did a good job at it. I mean, Moon Knight is a weird character. But you know, and it's tough to do a crazy character and make it come off good. But yeah, I like to have him have another shot, at least cameo him. You know, I mean, heck, you gotta like bring in everyone. I think if you're gonna do Secret Wars and have Battle World,
Such a boy, though. You mentioned Moon Knight, and I did like that show. But boy, what a strange show. I mean, they literally had two giant gods fighting each other in that
yes,
show.
and it was never mentioned again.
Right. Never in any piece of Marvel show or movie. Right. Did anyone ever mention Khonshu fighting a giant female alligator? But you're right. He did do a great job. But that was a weird show that I don't hate. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yep. And then of course, we also got not Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing is DC.
Yep, that is DC.
What's the Marvel equivalent? What's his name?
Oh, what is it? Man something, right?
Man Thing.
Thing, right?
It is Man Thing and Werewolf by Night. We got them in a little silly special that was on.
Yeah, you missed me with that.
But I don't think we'll ever see him again. I don't think we'll ever see either of them again, unless they do another Moon Knight season and then they could bring Werewolf Night by Night.
And that's fine. Do it on Disney Plus. Make it free. Just you gotta stay away from that fucking, just C tier shit, man. It's the goods.
C tier to you.
Okay.
It's not like they're bringing in Big Wheel or
Arcade.
Arcade. They did do Deathlock on Agents of Shield, which I thought was weird. They kind of they didn't really fully do Deathlock.
Yeah, they didn't commit to it.
They didn't really commit to it. Which they could have done some cool stuff with him. I think who's another good C level character that we haven't seen. I don't know.
We're gonna see Wonder Man, right? Aren't they gonna do some Wonder Man bullshit here soon?
Yeah, Wonder Man I think comes out the end of this year.
Yeah.
Thrawn, Howard the Duck. We got Howard the Duck in the Guardians movies, but yeah, bring him back. Wonder Man I think comes out in November. So we'll have to watch that for the show. And that's the question too. Will anything in that show reflect in any of the movies?
How many movies do we even have left before the reboot? Probably not. That's my thought.
December, not November, December. Okay. Yeah. So we got that to look forward to. Woohoo.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I don't know how you do Wonder Man because the whole Wonder Man story from the comics and the tie-in division, you missed all of that.
Yeah, that is weird that they're going to bring him in and he's not involved.
I mean, are they going to do something bizarre? Oh God, I'm going to throw this out there. So we have the White Vision flying around, right? And we know Vision Quest is coming, but could they do something crazy where at the end of the Wonder Man series he gets hurt and they put his consciousness into the White Vision?
They could totally do that. And that would actually kind of make a lot of sense. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to write those two characters together so that it is more aligned. I like that.
And then that's how Vision gets his personality back. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to do with Wonder Man. If it's just going to be a tongue in cheek, here's an actor, gets
Yeah.
superpowers, or if it's going to be like a serious show. I guess we'll find out in December.
Yep.
But that is it. That's all we got to talk about. Because we're at an hour and 15, and I think we've ruined our reputations enough for one night. Doom should have an assistant, and it should be Mr. Sinister. Uh-oh.
I mean, the only reason I'm not going to agree with that, Thrawn, is that they're going to reboot the universe. If this was going to be the same universe, I would totally... I would say that would work. Although he is more of an assistant to Apocalypse. But, cool idea.
You're going to ride that reboot to...
I'm going to ride it all the way till we go live one day, and I'm like, ha, I'm so right. Look at me.
Or will you admit you're wrong if it doesn't reboot the way you think it's going to?
Believe me, I'm super quick to self-defecate myself. Don't worry about that.
Well, don't do that on the show.
No.
Unless you people want to see it. Well, let us know in the comments down below. But
800,000 for that. I'm just kidding.
But we're at that time at the show where we've got to ask that question.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
What did you learn there, Don? Or do you have a recommendation or both?
Okay. Well, what I was originally going to go with here is I learned from myself, apparently, that everyone has a price, and mine is $750,000, and I will fart on a bullfrog. To be serious, though, as far as what I've learned is, this is kind of our second show involving some politics, and I feel that we handle it very well. We get into it, we talk about it, and then we get fucked back out, and we get right back into the world of comics and geekery and shit like that.
Yeah.
But also I don't feel we're coming out of left field, as again, our other show we talked about the fact that a comic book was being canceled, and then in today's show there was some video game relation there. But again, pat on the back to us. I think we actually do pretty good of diving into it, getting out of that pool, and not losing a beat. So that's what I learned. No recommendations other than if you're like Dave and you're unlike me and you haven't caught up with Twisted Metal all the way through season 2, it is something we're going to talk about. So I will continue my recommendation of Twisted Metal on the Peacock app. And when you're not checking out Twisted Metal, you can do what I do quite often, which is just put The Office in the background. I work from home, can get lonely, and sometimes it feels pretty comforting to just the ambiance of The Office. So there's my recommendations.
All right. Yes, I learned that that $750,000 gets you a fart on a bullfrog. Me personally, the price for farting on a bullfrog probably wouldn't be as high as $750,000. I probably would do it for $50,000. I'm quite honest with you.
Discount Dave.
Farting on a bullfrog is it's not that not that big of a deal, I don't think. Now, the more weird it gets, the higher it goes up. We'll leave it at that. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. A friend heard someone wants to fart on him. Yeah. Recommendations. I've got a weird one. There's a band I discovered on Instagram from a reel, and I started watching their videos on YouTube. They're called Father of Peace, and they're from Israel, and they're like, it's like pop punk style music. bunch of young. They're weird. They're weird, but like entertaining. I can't explain it. It's a 3-piece band, and they're pretty cool. I had posted on my Facebook page one of the videos earlier today. Yeah, I don't believe I'm saying this, but go check them out. They're called Father of Peace, and they've got like 5 or 6 songs up on YouTube, fully produced videos and everything. And it's just weird music. Good, another good ambiance while you're working, and of course Twisted Metal. Keep watching Twisted Metal because we will keep talking about it as we get through this. As I get through the rest of the shows, and yeah. So I have a question because I know all of season 2 is out. Did they just dump it all at once, or is it like a weekly thing?
No, they dumped it all at once.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of tough to talk about it. Like I was gonna say, for next season we could do episode by episode, but yeah. All right. So, all right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. So, on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't you keep caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting for? Visit our merch